Welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, what do I think's going to happen? Hey, we even talk about fashion on the show because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. It has been a week of Ashley and Nikki and Victor. I don't have enough hands to say Nikki and Victor, but Ashley, Nikki, and Victor. All right. And we're going to probably talk more about just those characters because pretty much that was what the week was mostly about. So we're going to see where this takes us. Okay, couple of disclaimers. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this might not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention something, it could be I plumb forgot or it really just wasn't newsworthy. So it's the nature of the beast, as I like to say. It is what it is. And you know what? We roll with it. And just before we get into it, if you like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so great if you could hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell notification, ding, so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. All right, so we're going to talk about pretty much the beginning of the week and the fact that Cole and, again, the whole host of Newmans, we're talking Victoria, Claire now, Nikki and Victor, they decide that they are going to go and spend some time at the Jazz Lounge, and Victoria was going to kind of reminisce about from the past when she used to date Neil and how she was pregnant with Claire at the time, aka Eve, and how Neil was so in love with Victoria that he was willing to raise Claire as his own. So off they go to the Jazz Lounge. Cole is with them, and Cole, he's okay with the fact that, Victoria is going down memory lane, that kind of thing. He basically said that he wanted to be a father to her and that, Neil was a good guy, but yeah, wasn't going to happen. So it didn't happen because she had, I believe it was a busted appendix, and she went into surgery. This is Victoria, mind you, from way back in the day. And she ended up having to deliver Claire. Don't mind me if Eve, Claire, it's the same person, because in my head, because it's in the past, I want to say Eve, but in the present, I want to say Claire. They have just messed me up with that. I feel like they probably should just not even reference the name Eve, or have her just change her name back to Eve or something. Like, I don't know, because Eve, Claire, 'tis what it is. All right, so they have a nice little, conversation at the Jazz Lounge. Nikki, she is battling this alcohol, vodka, drink of choice. And at some point in time, she's so frazzled that she wants to, go and freshen up, if you will. And she's on, I guess, in like the stairwell up towards the club. She's checking back, like, anybody looking, anybody watching. And she, out of her purse, swiggy swig, and she has her little drinky drink of choice. And her whole thing is she just wants to get through the whole Jordan thing and be able to kick this habit. Like, this is just to tide her over. In my head, and I can't have alcohol, but in my head, go and have a couple of massages. You've got the cash for it. Go to a retreat, something. Like, take the edge off in another way. I don't know. But again, I'm not in her shoes. I don't know what it is like for like reality. But again, don't come for me, people. This is just it's a soap opera. It's the show. This is just how I am relating it to the show. Okay. All right. In that same episode, we saw, because we'll get back to the host of Newman's, because once again, it was pretty much, as I said, Ashley, Victor, Nikki. That was pretty much the week. But we segue a little bit in there where Daniel, he meets Lily at Chancellor Winters, and he's basically asking Lily for a reprieve. Just let him have Princess Louisa, because he created that character from Lucy and he just wants to take that with him. She can have the game, whatever, but just don't take the character. And Lily's like, oh, why would I do that? And Daniel's like pleading, because, I created her to kind of get me through what I was, how I was, and you helped me. And, I'm begging you, like, again, you helped me through this. And I have my daughter back and whatnot. Well, Lily, she brought the thunder and rain on Daniel and basically said to him, yeah, maybe you should have thought about this from before. Yeah, no. I own it, and that's all you can, there's nothing you can do. Well, Daniel was like, well, I didn't want it to have to come to this. What does that mean? He's like, yeah, I didn't want it to come to this, but yeah, I'm going to be suing you guys for this, for wrongful dismissal, and yeah, for Omegasphere. She's like, what? He's like, yes. And Heather's going to be my lawyer. And just so you know, she rarely ever loses. So what you going to do about that? And you could just see Lily, like there was an air of fright, if you will. Now, chime in. Do you think Daniel should have Omegasphere as well as Princess Louisa? Or should he tail between his legs? He signed a contract and just mosey on out. Now, I wanna say let me take it a half a step back. Daniel did her dirty. He did Lily dirty. However, Lily, you need to grow up a little bit more. I mean, you've now become some sort of bigwig over the last couple of years. Just give him the Princess Louisa. You can easily change the name to Princess. It could be Lily for all I care. Princess Lily, whatever. Just give him that and be done with it. Oh, no. You got to go and push the envelope. Now, again, I'm not Team Daniel here. I'm not necessarily Team Lily. I'm certainly not Team Heather. But just give him that and be done with it. Like, now you got to go and mess things up, and it's going to be a whole set of nonsense that's going to go on. And who are you going to hire? Michael, I guess? Cricket? She's his godmother. I don't know. And cricket is a whole other story, which, ugh, I don't know. All right, so that was pretty much the majority of the one episode, okay, with a side plate of Ashley, which we're going to talk about Ashley and Ashley times what, 2, 3, whatever. Oh, God. I don't even know if I'm going to get through this. Okay, so as you all know at this point, there's Kid Ashley, there's Ashley, and there is, dare I say, the evil witch, Ashley. She's almost like a little trollop. I don't. Oh boy. So basically, it's this whole thing where they're trying to, well, she is trying her hardest to bring down Tucker. Bring him down, that kind of thing. But that's not really going in her favor. All right. So let's take it to the Abbott household. So Tracy has commissioned Jack and Diane with her facial expressions, which, thank you, writers, because I actually like seeing Diane's facial expressions. They make me laugh. They're hysterical. And Billy Boy Abbott. All right. So they all come to the house. Tracy basically is like, I brought you all here because something's going on with Ashley. Can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm very fearful for her and whatever the dickens is going on with her. Okay. So then they're like, well, what do you mean? She's like, I experienced where she went, like she left the house, she came back, she didn't know where she was, like she didn't know where she had come from. She's been in like seedy motels and just a mess. And she's like, you can't tell me that you all haven't experienced like some sort of craziness going on with Ashley. So Jack's like, yeah, I had a run-in with her where she was binge watching sitcoms. And Billy Boy is like, yeah, I had a run-in with her. I told Jack about this because you remember when she called him bruh? What's up, bruh? Sorry. So anyway, yeah, and of course Diane's in the background like, what? All right. So while they're talking, how are we going to determine who's who? Okay, let's just say evil. We'll call her Evil Ashley. Okay, so Evil Ashley comes in and she's like, oh, isn't this great? You guys are talking about me and whatnot. And Tracy, voice of reason, we're just trying to help you. So she's like, oh, you said something? She's like, I couldn't keep this a secret. Because remember, they pinky swore. We still doing this? Okay, so they pinky swore on it because Evil Ashley made Tracy pinky swear not to tell. But again, Tracy couldn't keep it to herself. All right, fast forward. It's a whole, what's the word that we want to use? It's like, they're just coming together. The name escapes me. It might come back to my brain. So the name escapes me, and they're just basically coming together to try intervention. Yes, I remember. So intervention for them to basically rally around who they think is Ashley in order to try and help her. Well, at some point in time, evil Ashley is going on about, you guys are, you know, horrible, you're awful. And yeah, she just went off. Like, gloves were off, and she's going after her family left, right, and center. And then they pan over from time to time, in this, albeit, alternate universe in her brain where it's all white and there's like the three beds. So, Kid Ashley, we'll call her. So, Kid Ashley and Ashley, who is sleeping like a little lamb in the middle. Kid Ashley's like, wake up, wake up, Ashley, wake up. She's gonna do something. Oh my goodness, you have to wake up. She just went off, because she got her little pigtails and everything like that. Or was it one braid? Kind of doesn't matter. Kid Ashley. And then evil Ashley in the present, she's shaking her head. She's going off. And, stop it. And of course, Diane's like, whoa. So she wants to go up to her bed to lie down, and they're basically blocking the way. So Billy and Diane are blocking the way, so she can't pass. She's like, what is this? She goes, this is just cruel. And what do you guys think I'm going to do? Go up to my room and then shimmy down the... shimmy down the whatever. Like, what does she say? The drain pipe or whatever the dickens it is. This is ridiculous. You can't keep me against my will. This is horrible. And you claim that you love me, and look what you're doing. So once again, evil Ashley is just going off. So eventually, push forward, because this thing just droned on for a couple of days. She's in her bedroom because Billy's like, I think we should allow her to go upstairs. All right. So she goes upstairs. She immediately starts to, she's kind of starting to fall asleep. Tracy follows her up there, brings her, look what I found, brings her some sort of, patchwork quilt that apparently she made. I mean, this thing is like, it's tiny. When she's putting it on Ashley to cover her, Ashley's pretty much in the fetal position. Could they not have made wardrobe? Like, could they not have made the quilt just a trifle larger? Because this thing was tiny. Anyway, I made this for you, remember, from years ago, and ho 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 ho. She just went. Well, Ashley's like, she's scared and whatnot, but she falls off to sleep. All right, so let's sidetrack a little bit to Billy, who basically deduces that Ashley is probably suffering from, it's called DID. I think it's another way of saying, I can't even break down the term again. Anyway, something disorder. So basically it's like a split personality, because Billy himself said that he went through that years ago. And he eventually tells Tracy by herself about his experience. And she was like, I'm so grateful that you shared this information with me. And, that took courage, that kind of thing, and whatnot. Yeah, so he's pretty much figured that out. I'm telling you, nobody else figures things out except the Abbotts and the Newmans. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So to finish off the Ashley story, okay, so Jack and Diane, they call in Sharon Because, Sharon is like the resident counselor slash pseudo doctor. Speaking of doctor, whatever happened to Elena? Does anybody know? She's still at Memorial? Anyway, whatever. Um, that just hit my brain. So again, pseudo doctor. Um, she's like an expert in just about anything, even though she claims she's not an expert, but she has all these contacts and, people that she can, refer. Okay, she took one course, and all of a sudden, she's the town helper. So Sharon comes over, and I had to laugh. So Sharon's listening to everything, and she basically figures out that, yes, she's probably suffering from this DID. Now, here's where I had to laugh. And I don't know if anybody else caught it, but I told my brother, I was like, oh my gosh, wait till you see. She's got a pad of paper, sitting on her lap, and she's got a pen, allegedly taking notes. Did anybody notice that the pen wasn't clicked on? Like, there's no possible way she could be writing because the pen wasn't clicked on. Further to that, whenever she did write, there was nothing on the paper. Am I the only one that saw this? I mean, why didn't they catch this? I guess they thought we wouldn't see, but it was clear as day. I said, she ain't writing nothing. There ain't nothing on that paper, but whatever. So she's like, yeah, I'm not an expert, her usual line. However, from my experience, this is what she's probably suffering with, and I can, make some calls, that kind of thing, in order to be able to provide this information in order to help you help her. At some point in time, way before Sharon showed up, this is while they're amidst their intervention, Tucker had shown up and basically was, I have all the proof here about what you said to Audra, what you said to me, and can you explain this? Evil Ashley was like, oh, and she just went off on Tucker. So Evil Ashley is just, boom, boom, boom. At some point in time, Kid Ashley basically gets Ashley to wake up. Ashley comes back, which is now Ashley on the bed with the tiny, tiny patchwork quilt. And she has now handcuffed, like she was handcuffed. She's handcuffed Evil Ashley to the bed, or her bed, and Evil Ashley is like, you have no idea what you have done. Like, you've messed everything up. She just went off on Kid Ashley, something fierce. So I don't know if, again, we're going to kind of end Ashley because that was just it was overload. But I don't know if the plan was to kill Tucker. All I know is whatever she was planning to do regarding Tucker, her whole point and purpose was to make Audra, as she said, Tucker's bimbo girlfriend, take the fall. I don't know what she was going to do to Tucker. I have no idea if it's going to get done. Don't know. Whew, moving right along. Let me lighten the load a little bit and talk about a little bit of the fashions this week. Why? Because we were celebrating Nikki and Victor's 40th wedding anniversary. I don't know how many times they were married and divorced within that time, in order to be able to say that they've been married 40 years, but whatever. I don't make the script. I just comment on what the dickens is going on. All right. So, a couple of fashion like that I absolutely loved. Okay. Sally in that green uh, one shoulder dress. And I'm not big on one shoulders. I know this soap opera is big on one shoulder, but on Sally, that dress was fire. And that piece in her hair, the shiny it was just, I don't, it was like a hair clip, but it was intertwined in her hair. That was on point. Like her makeup, I wish they might have changed her nail color, but in true Sally fashion, even though her and I are no longer friends, um, I gotta give props where props are due. All right, so she looked on point. Diane, and yes, I'm even gonna mention Diane because she was wearing my favorite color, purple, and I dare say that purple looked fantastic on her next to her skin tone. I There was nothing that I could have said bad about it. Maybe they could have done something a little bit more with her hair, but great color for her. It was fantastic. Lauren in that orange low cut back, the backless dress. She she that orange was on fire. Nikki with her, she had on like, I think it was like a square bangle that was like rhinestones. Her earrings, I might have done a little bit of different earring. Did she have a necklace on? I think she did, because it was like rhinestone central, and her ring. And I'm all for glitter, so don't get it twisted. I love glitter. I literally thrifted like a sequence black jacket the other day, on point. Yes, it was on point. But you see, Nikki, and that was popping. Who else? Even Victoria looked decent. I liked it. Claire, I don't know. Summer, eh, I don't think so. I mean, I liked the color, but the cut, the style, yeah, I could have left that. Chance looked good, and that's saying a lot because I don't care for his character. And I think I think that was probably it. So overall, bravo. Abby kind of stood out like a sore thumb, and normally she is on point, but because everybody else was pretty much in like a deep, um, rich tone, and she just came out with this almost like light bright outfit. I was just like, kind of stood out. Just saying. All right, so that was pretty much the fashion that I absolutely loved for the most part. Few little misses, could have been tweaked, but overall, loved it. All right, so back to, do we have any scene fillers before we get into Nicole Newman? They briefly talked about Connor, and that was what it was. Phyllis had lunch or dinner. It would have been dinner maybe, because she had risotto with Daniel, and that was again at the beginning of the week. She was still reeling over the fact that it was her and that kind of brought Daniel and Heather back together. So she was like patting herself on the back, and that Lily shouldn't be so, you know, Lily, if you will, to hold a grudge and, you know, fire Daniel. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna brief over Cricket and Danny because that was the scene filler to oh I just cringe. Even my husband was laughing at me because I was just like, oh, ooh. Okay. So they're at Daniel's place, and Danny was going on and on and on about the tour and, what they're going to do and blah, blah, blah. Cricket, as usual, has this look of concern on her face. And, she basically tells Danny that she was asked to do some sort of case or whatever, and she won't be able to go on the tour. So, of course, Danny was like, bump, bump, bump. His heart just kind of fell. But then he was like, it's okay. You'll make the right decision for you. And let's just, be, make the most of our time together. As if she was going off to jail or something. I was like, okay, this is a little melodramatic here. Well, she's, almost in tears, and I don't know if I'm going to get through this. Ugh. Am I the only one that I don't see any chemistry between the two of them? Like, none? And it's cringeworthy? I don't know. So they end up having their little, roll on the couch together, and after and she's like, I I just love this. This is after everything's done, and I just love this. And oh God, get over it. Enough. Okay, I don't want to talk about this. Ugh. I don't want to talk about them anymore. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Done. If you want to watch it, you haven't seen it, go ahead and knock yourself out. It's like the end of the week, last episode, boring as whatever with the two of them. Just, okay, writers, enough. All right, so let's pretty much go on with Nikki, and she's gonna probably be the only one that I finished talking about, okay? With a side plate of Claire and Jordan. All right. So there was pretty much one whole episode where they're celebrating the 40-year anniversary of Victor and Nikki. So basically, there was speeches from, I guess, Nicholas, Victoria, and Michael, who cracks me up every time. And who else? Jack, he said something. Was there anybody else that said anything? Summer, maybe? Yeah, I think Summer did. And I think that might have been about it. Maybe I might have missed somebody. Not important. So they gave their speeches about, how they're so grateful for Victor. They're so grateful for Nikki, her tenacity, Victor and his, showing Victoria how to, punch and whatever. There was some dancing going on. Yeah, it was pretty much a whole episode of the two of them. The whole time they're hoping that Jordan shows her face, But Jordan was on the outside in her manly disguise. She was outside of the club, and she's just watching. I don't even know what she's watching because the jazz lounge is downstairs, Jordan. So I don't know what you were possibly seeing upstairs, but the club is downstairs. Just so you're aware. So you couldn't have seen anything. But whatever, she's still standing out there on the corner, you know, like out of the bushes, like Columbo, whatever. Okay, so at some point in time, we see little Harrison, whoa, why'd they go and do that? They changed little Harrison. And I mean, they didn't just change him where, at least he looks similar. No, no, no. When I say I was like, Harrison? Yeah, that that was not a good. Now I'm sure he's a wonderful child. Wonderful. He seems very personable, but I really think this huge difference messed up a lot of people. Just, you got to see Harrison. All right, so Harrison, she sees Claire. He's all happy, because he basically wants Claire to be his nanny. Okay. So he shows Claire some little lucky bunny, like a little. It's probably this big, little lucky bunny. I don't know what they call it, lucky bun. At this point, I couldn't tell you. And Claire's like, yeah, I had something, whatever, and I don't know where it went. I lost it or whatever. Anyway, at some point in time, it's time for Harrison to go. Kyle, okay, let's go, buddy. He picks up his knapsack and off they go. And throughout the evening, who happens to notice Lucky Bun, or whatever the child's Lucky Bunny is called, just happened to be like in the couch, just sitting there? Claire. How she spotted this thing is beyond me. Because where she was, which was closer to the bar, and she just happened to just turn and look and spots this thing. And she picks it up and off she goes, so that nobody sees her. Meanwhile, I don't know how they could have not seen her leave, but what do I know? So Jordan sees Claire leave. All right. Before we finish it off with Claire and, little Harrison, little new Harrison, and Kyle, basically we celebrate the love of Victor and Nikki, and a couple of kisses, my baby, and yeah, that's pretty much how that ended. And they were like, I'm just so upset that Jordan didn't show her face. And Victor's like, well, if anything, it's a blessing because she didn't disrupt our night and we had a good night and that kind of thing. But don't worry, I will catch her, that kind of thing. And dare I say, the security people, they're starting to get some dialogue. They're starting to be able to talk. Bravo! Bravo! They have a voice instead of just head nods. This is great. We're moving forward. It's called progress. Just saying. All right. Segue over to the Abbott house. And Kyle was there with little Harrison. Harrison basically is like, "Oh no, Dad, Lucky Bun is missing." Again, I could be calling it the wrong thing, but whatever. Lucky Bun is missing. I can't go to sleep without Lucky Bun. Dad, would you get it for me? He's like, "Don't worry, I'll call your mother, have her bring it right over, blah, blah, blah." You know, back in my day, my parents would have been like, if you don't want to potentially lose something, let it stay at home. So this little itty bitty thing, he should have left that at home to begin with. I'm just saying. But whatever. So Kyle calls up Summer, and Summer is feverishly looking for Lucky Bun, and she can't find it. Fast forward, ding dong goes the bell. It's Claire, and Harrison was already upstairs at this point, and Lucky Bun. All right, so she gives it to Kyle. She shows it to Kyle, and yeah, Harrison comes back down, and oh my gosh, you found Lucky Bun. So yeah, Claire saves the day. So at this point, it's time for little Harrison to go to bed, read him a story. So he's like, "Claire, can you read me the story? Blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Well, I don't want to step on, what your father's toes and what he's supposed to do. I really just came to give you Lucky Bun, that kind of things." No. So soft-hearted Kyle at this point, because he's got all the feels for Claire. He just hasn't admitted it yet. And Claire has all the feels for him, and she hasn't admitted it yet. But the two of them, Kyle's like, "I don't see anything wrong with it. Go right ahead." So Harrison's like, "Yay!" They go up the stairs. He gives her the book. She's like, "Oh, this is one of my favorite books." And then he's like, "Yeah, I just got to go to the bathroom. I'll be back." So she's like, "Okay." He toddles off. She's looking around the room, and next thing you know, chloroform later, Jordan knocks her out with what in my head is chloroform, I think. Anyway, knocks her clean out. She falls on the bed, and that's pretty much how the end of the week goes. So, like I said, it was pretty much the Ashley, Victor, and Nikki show, like Nikki week anyway, with a few little spots here in between here and there, but overall it was pretty much just about those three. So we can only hope for the best for next week. Hopefully we will move forward, and we will not be droning on and on concerning Victor and Nikki and Kid Ashley, and Evil Ashley. And please don't show me any more Cricket and Danny. I can't take it. It drives me mental. I can't do it. I almost fast forwarded it, but I watched it for everybody. Oh, painful. All right, if you've stuck around to the end of this video, I'm so grateful. As usual, I love you lots. I value your time. I hope you enjoyed. And you know what? Let's keep on this crazy ride together. And share the video, because sharing is caring. At least I like to think so. And we're going to see, again, what next week holds. So until that time, you take care, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.